All right, welcome to another episode from the chart readers. What a wild day in the sector. I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I think the thing that's making me just incredibly happy is actually this volume down here. There was a federal rumor, and we're gonna talk about that video that got posted. There was something about extending the reschedulization. I think I saw that headline as well. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Really, for me, the biggest thing today was TLRY was the highest traded stock of the day. Open, which has been number one for the longest time, was actually less than half of TLRY's volume today. So TLRY was the actual volume king, volume queen for the ladies watching this. And it's been such a, I feel like since the 20 teens that happened. We drew this line on this day right here, all right? This is when that first gap up from that first federalization rumor came. I was in awe of this line because I was just zooming out and like we went to the weekly. That day, that single day was bigger than most weeks. Oh, I need water, excuse me, I got too excited. Oh man, excuse me, sorry about that. But yeah, look, I mean, that single day was bigger than most weeks, like I was saying, right? So for today to be bigger than this day as well, just, I mean, my goodness, right? From there, just look at this candle today. High of the day was the close of the day. It does not get prettier than that. I mean, so much to talk about on just this one alone, all right? CGC, all about the 200 moving average, all right? And one thing I talked about on the last video, all right? Zooming out. Basically, since back here in 2021, we've been basically completely under that purple line. There was a couple month window right here where there was a little bit over it, right? But I mean, when you're talking about a 4-year knocking on the door of a 5-year span and only 3 months are over it, you've basically never been over that line, right? So what I really wanted was we just attacked it right here. We need to attack it again quickly, and it does look like that's what happened right there, right? So CGC doing the job, never lost a cluster of moving averages. This did what we were expecting, and you gotta love it, right? MSOS, coming into MSOS, hey, this is a nice candle, right? What looked like giving up way too much ended up being a rather strong candle, nicely over our previous death line. Not too shabby volume right there. And again, MSOX is going to 2x that number and bring a big 50% gain right here, right? So don't forget about MSOX when days like this happen, actually, all right? But yeah, MSOS, MSOX, same thing. ACB, I actually don't really cover this one too much on this one, and I do apologize for that, but rather nice strong candle right there. SNDL, look, I think this is and it's funny because this is a big double-digit 17%, right? Like, don't underestimate, don't undervalue that right there, right? But when this was the leader, right? I was saying SNDL and HITI have been the number one, number two. You can move it either way, right? But SNDL with the 17%, HITI with the 6% doji. Look, those other ones were catching up to these two, right? So, and really SNDL went from a scary losing moving averages to all of a sudden right back over and over the biggest candle to the left, right? So, yeah, it's only a 17% when you're looking at that monster, 60% that TLRY saw. But again, what's now happening, and it's what we talked about on the last video, which I think was only a couple days ago, right? We want the sector to catch up to these two. I didn't like chaptering those three first and then these two last. And I don't need to do that on this video because right now we are seeing the sector harmonize. We're seeing that unison. And oh man, it's beautiful, right? So let's click into this real quick. No, sorry, I should have clicked into this right here. So this is what was posted, all right? This was live on his Truth Social. And look, I'm not going to play the whole like long video, but they talk about
system. It has been acknowledged and studied by some
in this 2-minute video. He just
in stress management.
Tylenol.
And while all these improve the system,
all of a sudden you're telling people, look at this, he does a tincture thing.
But
look at that tincture right there.
Here's the
right?
game changer.
So, this was a really loud video. And
CBD today.
Right? Like This
step
was a very
cementing your
powerful
legacy
move.
and transforming aging care. Millions
I
everywhere
think the
will
other
thank you.
important factor is how the market did. All right. We went from, hey, are we about to lose moving averages to, hey, right back over all of them, right? S&P 500 went from, are we about to lose moving averages to right back all of them. We had the RSI beautifully reset from a 90 to a healthy 70. NASDAQ doesn't matter too much in these, right? But even NASDAQ went from a scary to not bad, right? So right now, all three are actually over all the moving averages. And really all three actually look the same. They all have that doji overall 5 as they bounced on the 20 moving average, and Dow Jones with such a healthy RSI, right? So to me, you're mixing this crazy federal rumor that we're going to talk about shortly. You're mixing some beautiful index stuff, which we love, right? Oh man, I mean, this is the form. Like, I'm not here talking about squeezes and stuff, but my next line up is all the way up here, right? You look at CGC, you break this line, it's all the way up to here. Then all, like, there are some moves to be made, right? Even with high tide, you break this, you're going there, right? I mean, there are significant percentages to be had, and it feels like the momentum is there for more, right? So yeah, it's nice, it's lovely, right? So before we do go any further though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time. Oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So, look, I said in the opening thoughts, and I'm actually excited to say it one more time. There isn't a chapter break in this one. Right now, there isn't a this set is not so good and these ones are not. Right now, it all looks good. Maybe we can argue that CGC is the lowest on the bunch right now. CGC is not over all 5 moving averages, right? When we look at TLRY, this thing is over all 5 right now. You look at ACB, it is over all 5 right now. You look at SNDL, it is over, and it has been over all 5 for a while. You look at high tide, it is and has been over all 5 for a while. And nope, sometimes typos do good things, not this time. MSOS is now back over all 5. It actually was under 3 of the 5 as of Friday, right? So all of these are over all 5 except CGC. All right, so I see it creeping after hours. I think that's a nice little positive right there. But again, you know me, I'm not really here to focus on after hours much. If CGC can get over the 200 moving average, there's a lot to like. It should run to $2 right there. That's basically a 33% move to like tomorrow if it hits, right? Maybe I would use that 171 as the next rough target. Oh, look at that. It's actually almost the perfect top of that. 170, 171, give or take, I think would be the next line. But $2 really does seem like the next place it wants to go. But if I was to break one of them off, it might be CGC. I think what I live and die by the lines, and I almost don't want to say this thought. You could see that hesitation. What almost makes up for the fact that it's not over all 5 is the fact that every single one is, and this thing got monster volume. This CGC ticker was actually a top 10 ticker. Again, I'm going to show it real quick. Open barely had more shares than CGC today. That was never the case any other day ago. You look at CGC, this thing couldn't even get over 50 million, right? All of a sudden that 121 is actually so close to open, which has basically been living near 500 million most of the time, right? So today was a big volume day for CGC, and maybe that can help us overshadow that 200 MA. Otherwise, at this point, everything is looking good, all right? And look, You know I'm excited. I'm going to be talking about the way ups for sure, but let's talk about the other side of the coin just in case. All right. So look, as of now, nothing has actually happened yet, right? There were no real reschedulization rules or nothing with banking, not like that, right? Also, we're kind of talking about CBD. This is actually, I don't know. If someone knows, I would love to get it in the comments, right? But like, I don't know how, you know what's a CBD stock that I know? I can't spell well. Charlotte's Web. Hey, there we go. How did you do today? Oh, for sure. You had a 72% day. And you had Charlotte's Web is an actual CBD company. And I've actually, does this thing go after hours? No. I've actually seen their CBD products at groceries at whole like CVS and Walgreens and like Walmart. Like this is a real CBD company. It actually makes complete sense to me that this made 72%. When I think of Tilray and literally the rest onward, I don't think about CBD too much. Again, we kind of don't care about that, right? If you know my channel, ignorance is bliss more often than not, right? Like, I trade quantum stocks that have the word quantum in it, but have absolutely nothing to do with quantum. You know what I mean? Like, ignorance can be bliss if you're at least using the technicals correctly, right? But I don't know how heavy these footprints of CBD are across from these, right? I think what's starting to come is this continued rumor and this continued feeling that Trump's going to do something, right? We were talking about it before the election even ended. We and when I say we, I do mean me, but no one really disagreed on the comments. Regardless if Kamala won or if Trump won, that was hard to say. Regardless if Kamala or Trump won, it felt like there was going to be some major weed law changes in this upcoming election, in this upcoming like term right here, right? And one thing I said, and I remember saying this a bunch in the beginning of the year, especially, it's going to be at the very bottom of the man's list in the beginning, right? Like even if Kamala won, it was going to be at the very bottom of her list, right? There were more important things. There are still more important things than this, right? But hey, senior health matters a lot. You know what I mean? Bringing in new, more extra tax money means a lot, right? And this is the sector where if they do things well, good things can happen, right? So I think really what's driving this volume today is the fact that it's this rumor. And look, it's not that long ago. Look how many trading days ago it was. It actually wasn't that many in hindsight, right? It looks like 2 months. It's not the closest amount of time, but not too many candles, right? Like this is the exact same thing I said where we like it when CGC attacked this line so quickly. We love that the rumor mill refilled in time, right? Like I was worrying on my last videos, like, are we running out of juice? Like we need some more, a little more ammunition to just let the rumor mills go. And yeah, this is what did it, right? So, all that said, I went on a little bit of a rant right there. The point was nothing is set yet. And maybe that'll bring some sort of retraction back down, all right? I don't think I need to draw a new line. I like this 168 right here. It feels like it's going to be really hard to go below 168. 160 is basically your 50% candle, and then you have the death line at 151 right there, right? So that's a pretty tight window of a lot of strong support. So I don't think we need more lines drawn right there, but that's basically what we're looking for. Look, if this goes a penny higher, right? We closed today at 185. Looks like they gave me a wick at the end of the day. That sucks. I think I might have reset. But give me a penny higher. I'm expecting this to start heading to 270. All right. We talked about it on the Discord a little bit today. I see a lot going on at 2. All right. There's a little bit of a horizontal right there. There's a little bit of like a plateau right here. You can also see it's a little bit of the bottom right there. There's a little bit of a thing going on right here. There's a little bit of a bottom right there. I see this resistance at 2. I for sure do. All right. To me though, I like this channel. All I really see is red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 right? So I feel like, yes, you should give a little respect to that too, but man, it feels like 270 is going to be next if we continue. What I actually like is the fact that this is only a 77 RSI. We're not even in the alarm bell 80 yet, let alone the fact that this could probably go up just a little bit more, especially since, and I'm going to come back to this one last time, this was our volume king for the day. Right? Like this, you hold your crown again, volume heals all, or it makes everything better, right? So, these are the lines that still matter right now. 168 on the way down. If that breaks, you're going to look at 151. I'm not going to draw the $2 line, but I'm basically expecting $2 and then a run to 270 right there. Break 270 and you basically see that 321 behind it. Don't think $4 just yet. All right. I know it's easy to do it, but for now, I think $4 is a little bit of an extreme. All right. I think this 270, when you look at the weekly as well on Tilray, it is just a little bit harder because we have that 200 moving average right there. And you can see it. Excuse me, a little bit of a baby hiccup right there. We've never even touched it, let alone tested it, right? So I think for now, 270 is a very nice target. Hey, let's be honest. Go from basically 70, 180 something to 270. Yo, I can't do the math fast enough in my head, but that's a nice double digit right there, right? So I do like this. I know 81 is a little bit high on the RSI, excuse me, but hey, that's a good MACD in the positive diverging up. I see the divergence up right there. We've already destroyed the weekly volume average, and it's only Monday, right? So that's just a lovely sentence to say right there, right? We talked about CGC a little bit, but I don't think I gave numbers. Look, I'm going to be a little bit tight on this. I really don't want this to go below 153. Obviously, my line right there is at 146, and I can't stress it enough. You have 4 moving averages down here. This should be really, really hard to lose, all right? What I'm looking for is constant pressure on that 200 moving average, and then obviously I want it to break and go, right? But don't go below 153. I'm clicking at 154 right now. Don't go below 153. That's going to actually start to get, I don't want to use the word concerning because it's not concerning. It's going to be annoying to me. You know what I mean? Break the 200, follow the sector, go. All right. If I was going to use a money line, I think I'd use 170. Get me over 170. I will believe that you've broken that this very, very difficult line that it is. Break 170. Where is 170? Is that you right here? No, it's not quite you. You know, I think this in a lot of ways shows this is 170. I like my 170 number. I was going to say you can probably use this right here and make 166 worth it. Look, there is no such thing as safe, but wait that extra 4 cents. I don't think it'll hurt. 170, you break 170, 171. There's another 20% to be gained. You're basically adding 30 cents right there. It's a little less than 20, but you'll go for 2. Really break 2, where I think this wants to go, and it's a little bit hard to see. Let's change the color on this a little bit so it's easier to read. It feels like this wants to come up to 280, and the main reason I say it is because Tilray came back to the death line. MSOS came back to the death line. I'm a firm believer in sector unison. This should want to come up to the death line. And really, that's kind of in my back of the head number. And on the actual weekly, it shows that it's very realistic because the 100's just barely up here, right? I don't want to think 4. We're not even over the 50. So how can I think the 100 moving average, right? But go break 2, and I think it'll actually want that death line right there. There's a lovely red right there, right? So cool. Next, let's take a look at ACB real quick. I haven't looked at ACB in a good while. Damn, I'm already at 18 minutes. Okay. Let's use this 613. If it loses 613, I would say 588 is the next number down. Don't lose 588. Oh, I like it. My next line is 745, let's call it. And I think that's a really good line, actually. Maybe you can use 660 as the next coming resistance. But even between here and 660, there's a lot of nice room right there. If you're not in right now, I think 650 is a decent entry point right there on ACB. Let's come into MSOS. Looking at MSOS, again, this is a really nice candle. Beautiful bounce on that moving average right there. It looked like it was going to be giving away a lot. It probably came, in the last couple hours, actually. Not even in the last hour. I like that. Cool. 601. I got nothing else to say right now. This seems like it's going to want to go to 601. This is starting to fill that gap right there too. So you take out 601, it might very quickly go to that 660. Remember, if that happens, oops, sorry, MSOX would probably do the same thing. And yeah, just roughly speaking, that's what we're looking for. It's interesting that we're actually not in the gap point of MSOX just yet. Again, I don't know why. I'm not here to pretend I know why, but interesting right there. Nonetheless, yeah, I like that a lot. Just don't go below 5. All right. Really, you can use 515 if you want, but just don't go below 5. We're already seeing it go up after hours. That's at least feels nice. Because again, with this whole sector, we've seen it. You go up double digits regular hours and then dump double digits afterwards. That's always no bueno right there, right? Look, SNDL, I know you would want more, right? Like, why is this only 17%? But this is lovely. What's just happened is all the rest of the sector has now caught up. In a lot of ways, maybe, and it's not a good thing, but it might just be the truth of it, right? Maybe what was helping SNDL was the fact that all the bigger ones weren't doing as well, and now the attention is kind of going away, right? That's kind of a little bit of a negative thing, and maybe you could kind of say the same thing about high tide, but to me, the sector strength and unison truly does outweigh that. All right, just let the sector do its thing, and from there your overall 5. These are beautiful lower indicators down here. As I look in the weekly's still just a little hot, but I'm actually seeing it escape the 200 moving average that it's never been over, right? So yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if we go for 320. I think 320 is probably what I would see next here. My next, that's almost two resistance lines up right there. Yeah, SNDL does look really nice. Again, just because it wasn't the biggest of percents, it's okay. Same exact comment with high tide. Look, why did we only get a doji on high tide, right? A lot of it is this was one of the only few that was over all the moving averages. Now the other ones did, right? So yeah, maybe some of the volume's gonna go away. Hey, we're still over the 50-day average. We have a real nice doji over all 5. We just needed to confirm tomorrow. And like I said with SNDL, those are still really good lower indicators. That 60 has a lot of room to go and try to retest that 90 RSI that we saw, just a couple weeks ago, right? So yeah, I think a little bit of attention is going away from these two just because those first 3 recovered, but the sector unison really, really does outweigh that, all right? So exciting day. Let's confirm tomorrow and just let the rumors do the rumors thing, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, oh, I appreciate you so much.